Hey everybody, we've got a problem at our house. We've got water pressure that runs between 75 and 80 pounds per square inch, and Mary will show that to you in a second with the camera. But to mitigate it, we're going to install a Watts pressure reduction valve, and we're going to drop our pressure down to about 55 and 60 pounds. And I'm going to work on this alone, and let's see if I can do it. Mary's going to show you the gauge here in our hot water system. We're generally running right now about 75 pounds. We'll go all the way up to 85 pounds. If you look here at this gauge, we're reading 80 pounds, and that is way too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this Watts pressure reduction valve. We'll put the details in the description, and it's going to go here. You can mount this particular model horizontally or vertically. So we're going to put it vertically right here on the incoming line to our house. This is 3/4 inch copper. We've got to clean the copper, and we're going to go right through it and go through the install process. Okay, these are the tools we're going to use for the job. We've got the pressure reduction valve, and this is a Watts LFN45B-M1, and we picked that up online, and it was about $230 because we're using 2 unions, not one. We wanted to make it easy to replace down the road, and it costs an extra $80 or so to do that, but it'll be well worth it. We need a little screwdriver for the end of the regulator. We have a 14 mil wrench to loosen the lock nut and tighten it when we're done. We've got our solder and our flux and our brushes. We've got our trigger torch, and we're going to use our 5-gallon propane tank. We've got our pipe cutter, and we've got our wrenches. So let's get started. The first thing we have to do is clean the pipe. All right, first we're going to clear away the mulch. We're going to be doing some soldering here, so we want to make sure we don't start any fires. Next, we're going to go ahead and clean the pipe. Okay, we're going to put the reduction valve in. There's an arrow that flows up, and the water goes up from the ground up this way. So it's going to be installed about here, and I just need to grind off the pipe to clean it up. So I've got my safety glasses and my gloves. So here we go. Now I'm going to get a piece of sandpaper and clean that right up nice. That's a whole bunch of paint and stucco that we had applied to our house when the builders built it. Just to explain something, the water comes from the street, and it used to run up this way. It used to come from the street underground about 12 inches and then run up into the house. We changed all that a couple years ago when we bought the house, well, 3 years ago. We dug in, we broke into the line, we brought the main water line over here to this pipe. It goes inside into our whole house filter, comes out our whole house filter. There's a valve on each side. It comes through this line, and then it hooks up to this copper line and runs into the house. So we can shut our water off inside the house instead of having to rely on this here, which anyone can turn on and turn off. So the water still runs into the house in this direction, but we're putting our pressure reduction valve behind the filter so that the filter can trap everything and keep this safe. We're not concerned about the pressure on this side and in the filter. That can handle 80, 100, 120 pounds. Once we do the pressure reduction from here into the house, that's what we're concerned about. So we're putting this pressure reduction valve where we can easily maintain it on the copper line, not the PVC pipes. And we're going to set it so that we can shut off the water on the inside and not have to worry about any leaks or rush of water here. So that's how that works. So I have to use the file to get in here because I can't get in there with the grinder, and then I'll clean it up with the sandpaper.
Yes, because you want the pipe nice and clean.
You got that right, honey. The last thing we need is a leak. But this goes pretty quick once you finish with the prep work. Okay, next I'm going to get a magic marker, and I'm going to mark where we're going to cut the pipe. We have to cut it in 2 spots. And the way we're going to cut it is we're going to make it so that when we solder these unions on, we have just enough room to slip in the pressure relief valve with their O-rings, and then we can clamp it together. And that's it. But we just have to do the measurement, and we need to measure basically from the center of this nut and the center of this nut, and that's where we will make our cut. And when we're done, we'll have it set up most likely like this. That way we can service the bonnet, etc. Now the instructions give the actual pipe dimension, but I always like to just use a takeoff so I know exactly what I'm dealing with. It measures out to 3.5 inches. And this is important because down the road, if we have to replace this thing or repair it, we want to be able to easily take it on, take it off, and put a replacement unit in so we can just slide it in, slide it out. Because Watts has been around for many years, we don't think they're going to go anywhere. That was weird how your arm just twitched.
Yeah, my elbow rolled off the arm of the chair.
Oh, that's funny.
It was
Okay.
not a spasm.
That's funny. Okay, so we're going to cut the pipe here and cut the pipe here. First, we need to go inside and shut the water off so that this part is free of pressure. Otherwise, we'll have a problem. We're also going to shut this valve off, and that'll keep any water from backtracking outside of the house. So we'll have this valve on the outlet side of the pressure reducing valve, and the valve that's behind this wall on the other side. So that's how we can isolate this. We don't have to install any separate valve. Okay, so we've already moved all this stuff, and we're going to shut off the water where the water comes in from the street. So that isolates everything from the filter right into the house. And we'll isolate this valve too. It just shuts off the filter. This is the pipe that goes outside and runs into that copper valve that runs up into the house. So now with the water shut off, we don't have to worry about any water pressure coming from the street. And with that other valve shut off on the copper pipe, that isolates any water trying to backflow from the house. So we've got a nice isolated place to work. We'll cut into the pipes next. We'll suck out some of the water so we don't have a heat sink when we're soldering, and we'll continue the job. I've got a little rigid pipe cutter. It's not the biggest pipe cutter. I don't have room to run a big one, so we're just going to throw a little one in here, just take our time and cut the pipes. I'll start with the lower one.
So what kind of pipe did we have at our old house, hon?
We had CPVC pipe in our old house, and right now, that building was built back in '97. It'd be 29 years old. So this house has a combination of copper coming in. It has some CPVC by the tankless water heater, and it has Uponor pipe inside. So it should last a good long time. But anytime you have a house that's largely CPVC, like our old house, over time those pipes get old and brittle, and they're running 55 pounds of input pressure there. If they had 80 pounds of pressure at the house like we do here at our old house, we probably would have busted lines inside the walls by now because the pressure is so high and the pipes are so brittle.
Wow. So it's really amazing the variations in different plumbing systems from one house to the next, and how it's evolved over the years.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Here's a pro tip for you. Always keep a little bit of small 1/4-inch gas line around. Use a blowgun, and I can clean this out. I'll throw this down toward the elbow. That tells us how deep the pipe is. And we put it down in there. I'm just going to be careful, and we'll just blow the water out of it. And that's it. Now this whole column is empty, and when we go to solder, we won't have problem with heat.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a cool trick. That way the pipes are all smooth on the inside and the outside. Now I'm going to test fit. Wouldn't that be awful if I soldered that on and forgot the collar?
Oh yes, it would be awful.
So we would put this down here.
As Jack Reacher says, details matter.
Especially in this case. It's very important, at least for us. We like to dry fit things and make sure they work perfect before we solder them together. Then we don't have to fight with it down the road. All right, we don't need the collars for this. I just want to test this and see. Perfect.
Oh, sweet.
So that's how that's going to work in there. The arrow goes up. We'll have it set like this. We may not even have to dig the ground. So when we solder these, we'll push the union pieces close to the pipe. We'll solder them in after we put our collars on. Once we're done with that and everything cools, we'll be able to go in here, and when we tighten these up, the O-rings will just take up the slack. We don't have to tighten them really, really hard. So this is going to be great. Now I had to do a little bit of sanding here, and the reason why was because when you use the pipe cutter on copper pipe sometimes, it actually mushrooms out around the cut. The pipe's got nowhere to go, so it's got to go up, got to go down, so you'll end up with a mushroom on the head, on the end of the pipe, and then you can't get your fitting by it. So you end up having to file and do a little bit of work. So that's why I did that. Now it's all clear, and the fitting goes on nice. I'll have to play with this just a little bit. There it is, beautiful. And that's it. So we'll get ready to solder now. Safety first. So pro tip, we're going to put we have a stainless steel plate, and we're going to put it back here so we can burn, do whatever we do. We're not going to damage the paint. This is concrete block, so we don't have to worry about it, but we don't want to burn the paint if we don't have to. So we'll put the plate in here. We've already got a bucket of water set up if we need to cool things down. So again, always be safe. I'm going to go put a hat on so I can keep my head safe, and we'll get ready to solder these pieces in. Now I'm going to put the flux paste on and coat everything nicely so that the solder grips the way it needs to. The other thing I have to do is sand out the inside of the fittings so that the solder can adhere better. I haven't done that yet. I didn't realize it until I started fitting this up for the solder project. I said, oh, we're talking in the camera. I got to remember to do the job right. And that's it. We don't want to overdo it with the solder. We don't have to have it dripping all over the place. It just needs to seal the pipe. We'll let this cool down and then we'll continue the process. When I was younger, I used to cool down the fittings immediately and make the solder look all nice and perfect. The problem with that is you can end up with cracks in the solder joint. So it's better just to let it cool naturally.
Good to know.
Okay, we're ready to roll. As you can see, I used a zip tie to hold the top collar out of the way. So now we're ready there. Everything is cool to the touch, and we're ready to do a test fit. So we've got the arrow facing up on our regulator here, our pressure reduction valve. Perfect. I'm going to put some waterproof grease in those threads. That way corrosion and stuff can't get in there. So I'll do that and put everything back together and tighten it up, and we should be done. Then we can test it. I like to put waterproof grease. This is just a simple Danco waterproof grease from Lowe's. I like to put it in and fill the threads, because threads usually have a choice to make. They can either take corrosion, or you can fill the threads and keep the corrosion from happening. Even though this is brass and copper, I just like to give it every chance it can get. Oh, that feels great. It makes everything work smooth too. So when you go to take this apart in the future, you should have no problems at all. That looks really good, doesn't it, honey?
Oh, yes, it does.
I'm going to get the wrenches and we'll tighten her down a little bit. Okay, I've got an 1¼ inch wrench for the body, and then our 18-inch adjustable for the top. All right, we're going to test that and see how we did. What I'm going to do now is we're going to check to see. This is supposed to be set at 50 pounds of pressure. So I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the water. And instead of putting the pressure gauge on here and walking back and forth from the house, we did something neat. We've got water in our garden hose. And we're going to put our pressure gauge on the garden hose, which is hooked to the back spigot. Now the pressure in the back of the house is 75 pounds, where in the front it's 80. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our pressure to about 55 pounds. We're going to have this turned on once I turn on the water, and then we don't have to go running around to the faucet. So this makes it easy for a one-person job. All right, you can see right there, it's about 45 degrees. Can you see that okay?
Yes, I can.
I have to go get the screwdriver, and I'm going to crank this up a little bit. I'm going to turn this about a quarter turn. So we're up to 50 pounds in the back. We have no leaks here. I'm going to check the gauge inside. Look at that, 50 pounds, just where we want to be. I'm going to bring it up to 55. That'll give us about 50 pounds in the back of the house, and we should be perfect. So right there we're showing about 55 in the back. Now we can take this off. We'll test our pressure here. $55 pounds. Let's go check indoors by the hot water heater. This stayed right at 50, and I'm okay with that. I'd say, honey, let's try it out and see how it works out. We'll check on our water hammer, we'll check on our water flow, and that's it. So we're real happy with the job. I know I am. I can see by the smile on Mary's face she is. Thank you very much. If you learned anything from this and got value out of it, please like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.